Hello, my name is Ggigo Douglas and I'm a volunteer with Uganda Prisons. I'm here to talk about prison and how a nightmare it might be to someone who gets in prison. It doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter the background, doesn't matter the sex, it's just a nightmare. And if you look at this picture, I guess most of you know what it means. At least you've seen it on TV or you've seen it anywhere. It's a nightmare to be in prison. It doesn't matter which prison you are, whether it's a first-class prison, I don't know whether that even appears. As long as you lose freedom to the world, it is a nightmare. First of all, it is wrong in our lives to think that whoever goes there is some kind of celebrity. It is very, very wrong. And if you look at the statistics in Uganda, the age of 19 to 25, regardless of the sex, that is where most kids do crimes from. I'm talking about the age. So please, please, there are a lot of things we can do in our lives outside of prison or in prison, and we reform our lives and our mindset and avoid prison. The most important part is avoiding it. Avoiding violence and avoiding crime. It is very important, first, by having a forgiving heart. That is what matters, because if you look at most of the crimes, not all the crimes, but most of the crimes statistically, people are trying to do revenge to others. So if we have a forgiving heart, it doesn't matter what the other does to you. What matters is that you let it go. It doesn't mean that you're weak when you forgive, or it doesn't mean you are something low when you forgive. Actually, it creates something in you that you are the perfect person to live in this society, and you are the strong one, and you set yourself free when you forgive someone. That's one. Secondly, most crimes come to Uganda, most people do crimes because of poverty. I mean, because they don't have something to do, something to eat, so they go out there and do robberies, break in people's houses, do anything thefty. But the first thing you have to do is be creative. Not all of us are going to have white-collar jobs. Go out there, hustle legally. Legally. Hustle and go be creative, because the world is full of opportunities. Thirdly, look drug abuse, look over drug abuse and anything that makes people high. It doesn't matter what, from alcohol to weed to anything. Please try to avoid such stuff. Try to avoid anything that makes people high, because not everyone who does crime or who does theft is poor. Some people are just because they're high, they go out there and do break-ins just because of peer pressure, because they feel cool, or maybe they have seen some kind of movie whereby people go. And I think that's what I have to say at the moment about how to avoid crime. And if you see this picture, shows an inmate who graduated with a diploma. But if you look into the picture, not just at the picture, this shows hope. This is very much hopeful that anyone can get transformed from what they are to something, to a better person, to the society. So please, and I again say please, let's take this as an example. This is just not a mere picture, but this is a picture of hope, whereby someone comes from a bad background and now they're benefiting not only Uganda but the world. I had a chance of meeting some of the people who are in prison, and most of them are youth. As you know, Uganda is the most youngest population in Uganda. I mean, the most youngest population in the world. And most of the people in prison are between 19 and 25. That's where the most crimes are committed. I'm not saying that the big ones, I may big in age, don't commit crimes, but the biggest population in prison are the youth. And if you can see this peak, you can see this youthful man. I'm not going to mention the names because he hasn't permitted me to, but you can see there's hope. This picture doesn't necessarily show someone putting on a graduation gown and presenting to the world that he has completed some education, but it is hope he has gone through education. And we are here to say that you can get this through how you present yourself and how you present yourself outside to the world, through education, through giving yourself hope, through patience, and through forgiveness within yourself and to the others. So what we're all here to do is to avoid this. We are here to avoid this. Because before they take you, they have to put you on this. So please, it doesn't benefit me it benefits us, all of us in the world, if you don't go to prison. So please, youth, we ask you to avoid crime.
Hello friends, I'm Ggigo and Solome. I volunteer with Uganda Prisons. I'm here to talk about the situations in prison and how we can do away with it. My dear friends, sisters and brothers, I really urge you to avoid prisons, to avoid going to prisons. No one has ever thought of being in prison. It's something that can get you from anywhere. So I really urge you, through fighting corruption, you can avoid all that in order not to go into prisons. Mothers, the spirit of possessiveness, whereby one can ban the co-wife. We've seen such cases, and people are there in prison because of possessiveness. Husbands, you can do away with that with the spirit of forgiveness. You forgive if someone hurts you, please let's carry on that. Because if we forgive, if someone has hurt you, you can either avoid that person or you forgive that person by not being near him or her. Some people have gone to an extent of burning others' acid because of competition in businesses. But you can do away with that. Mothers, you children are really suffering when you're in prisons because you don't know how they are doing, you don't know what they are doing. You can do away with that by reconciliation, by doing away with evil acts, by involving in yourselves with people who don't add value to you. Sometimes you do things through peer pressures because according to the highest population in prison, it's the youth. And youth do things out of emotions. So you can do away with that. Taking drugs, which can make you lose focus, and then you end up doing something illegal. My dear brothers and sisters, you can do with that. Now, when you're in prison, prison does not mean that it's the end of your life. Because here you can see these mothers and fathers who are here, they never at any one moment dream of being in prison. But they are there with their kids. Know that kids are also experiencing hard life. But it's not the end of the road. You can have another life. When you reach there, you can go into vocational work, scaling, you learn new things. Then after prison, you come out when you're a better person, when you're even better than how you were before. So let us focus ourselves. Let us compose ourselves. When we go to prison, when you don't dream of going to prison, sorry. Make sure that you don't at any one time engage yourselves in dirty works so that you can avoid this. Then when you go to prison, you can even have a better future. You can even study and then graduate. For example, the university, Makerere University Business School, it's affiliated to prison. It has helped people to graduate, to acquire skills, to acquire education, whereby now they're better people. For example, a case of Mugerwa Jonathan, who graduated and now he's working with government after serving in prison. I thank you all people, and I really urge you always to reconcile with others, have good terms. If you see something that will lead you into being imprisoned, kindly avoid it. God bless you all.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on the time zone, wherever you are. Yeah, my name is Jonathan, working with rehabilitation by the community this time to reduce prison population, to reduce recidivism, and to create a zero environment in Uganda. I'm happy to be working with Douglas. I'm happy to be working with Solome to reduce the crime rate, that is via peacemaking, healing and forgiveness, reconciliation, to reduce recidivism, to reduce conflicts and create a zero crime environment, zero crime country, Uganda. Yeah, I'm happy. People are now embracing anti-drug abuse. People are reducing fighting. People are reducing greed, violence. The need to use the force. People are now embracing dialogues, conflict resolution, advocating for conflict resolution. People are advocating for making love among themselves, empathy. So with that, we shall be successful with reducing the prison population. Correction by the environment is the way to go. We have established the Reintegration Academy at MOBS, all that to reduce the prison population. Thank you for being part of us, and thank you for supporting us. For instance, I can I can show you this picture where MOBS population, where MOBS staff and the principal are helping inmates to gain skills that they will be using to have something to put on the table once they are released. And I'm also working with the Uganda government. Yeah, after studying, after reading books from prisoners and doing my bachelor's degree thereafter and getting a second class upper. That is 4.0. So I'm working with the government, and I'm happy to be paying 550,000 per month as a payee. Thank you.